to admit that I missed the first one because I was kind of like talking to myself in the hallway. So I missed the first one, but I will make sure that I go to other ones. And so hopefully it was great. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm Tara Conley. I've been in education. This is going to blind me the entire time, so I might have to hang right here. I've been in education for 16 years. Had a birthday yesterday, and I was like, wow, that was scary. So I have been an elementary teacher, and I've also been a literacy coach, and I've been in Martin County for the last 13 of those years. So we are going to dive in pretty quickly to why I'm here. And so why I am here today, and I'm so glad that you joined me, is because as an educator, right, I just felt like every day I was giving it my all. Like 110% to my kids, now to teachers, to my staff, to my school. I went home, I have 2 small kids, and I've given it my all to them, and my husband got a little bit. And so and then what was left for me, right? And I just felt like, wow, I feel like I am not grounded. I did not feel happy. I was like, this is really hard. So I started to do some research for myself, and I was like, wow, what's out there? So I started to read blogs, I read books, I started listening to podcasts a lot, and I started to notice, like, I'm gonna try this little bit, and I'm gonna try this little bit. And I went, wow, that worked in my personal life, and now it's starting to work in my work life. Like, there's something to this. So I was like, that's amazing. So then I started to notice that all these multimedias like started talking about these 5 things. And this is like the only one click I have to do. Bam, success. They started talking about these 5 things. And so we're going to dive in because I know I have a small amount of time. So the first one was your physical environment. So physical environment as a teacher, as an educator, is your classroom. For me, it's an office right now. But how is that space making you feel, right? If you've got papers or if you've got stuff unorganized and you look at it, then you're like, oh my gosh, all this clutter, I feel so sporadic. Right? So start to think about how can I start to take some of that stuff away, reorganize it a little bit. Can I add some good lighting? Can I do some change seating? Can I put on some good music? Because let me tell you, I used to shake it off to Taylor Swift before my kids came in to get me ready in the morning. And then some scent, but not on the days that Mark Coco is coming, because that is a no-no. So you put it away. But what do you want to help make that space make you happy? Okay? So make those changes. Step number 2 is going to be physical environment. And you're like, wait a minute, you just said environment. But I'm not talking about the environment around you anymore. I'm talking personal. I'm talking you. Right? So you give yourself to all of your kids every day in the classroom. Right? Give, give, give. But what are you leaving for yourself? That is key. What are you leaving for yourself? Okay, so that's that personal environment. So one thing that I learned on this journey is daily reflection. So one thing I do now every night next to my bed, I have a journal, and I start writing down what I am grateful for. It sounds so silly, right? But I write them down. And they don't have to be big, because let me tell you what I wrote today. I have a small boy. So my small boy today, after breakfast, did not lay on the bathroom floor naked. He got dressed, and I was like, yes, I am grateful because we're going to get to work a little bit earlier. Okay, so small things, write down those small things. And what this has done for me is I am so much more open-minded as I go through my day. I am looking for those small things, and I'm remembering them, and now I've got this like book of memories. The next thing that I started to do was I started to write down, what are my dreams? I'm almost 40, very close, and I'm like, yeah, I still have dreams that I want for myself. Right? So I started writing those down. Want a new car? Write it down. Want a side hustle? Write it down. Want to go on vacation? Write it down. You getting what I'm saying? Write it down. But you want to write it down as if it's already happened to you. Okay? So I have a new car. I'm working my side hustle, right? I went on that vacation. Okay? So what you're going to do is as you write these things down, they're going to start to be in your brain. They're going to be a habit. You're going to be more self-aware of them. They're like there in your head every day. And then you're going to think about, I can't do all of these things. I'm going to pick one, and then that's going to be my goal. Okay, so then I'm going to work towards that one, check it off, go on to the next. Okay, so that's a small thing that I've added that has made a huge difference for myself. The next thing as part of that personal environment is physical movement. So I'm not saying you're going to hit the ground running like Elise every day, But you do want some kind of physical movement. So maybe you want to run with your girlfriends after work. Maybe you do want to walk your dog. Maybe you want to play with your kids. I added a lot more to that, and I play a mean game of dodgeball with my kids in the backyard now, and it has made a huge difference. Okay? So think about taking care of you is a huge piece. So next is community, and I'm not talking about your neighborhood community. I am talking about your school community, because we know that the research says you are made up of the 5 people that you hang out with the most, okay? So it is hard when you're placed among other people that are maybe not the same as you, and that's okay. Okay, we're still going to get along with everybody, but if you want to feel better and feel grounded and not stressed out, you have to reach beyond that if they're not there with you. So you have to be vulnerable, you have to be brave, and you have to find other people and be like, hey, you are amazing at that one thing. Can you tell me more? Can you teach me more? Okay, get out of those boundaries, get out of that comfort zone, find that person, find that tribe who's going to push you to grow more. Okay, because you don't want to be the only one around you that wants that joy, that wants that growth. So find that, don't be vulnerable, and find that community, okay? So that's 3. How am I doing on time? Am I getting there? Okay, so 4, morning routine. You're like, morning? Yes, I'm saying morning. Yes, you have to get up early, and it's gonna make you feel so much better. Trust me, it is really hard. You're like, I'm elementary, I already have to be there at like 7:15. I hear you. So maybe it's, I get up 5 minutes earlier, I get up 15 minutes earlier, I get up 30 minutes earlier. Whatever works for you, unless you are not a brand new mommy or you have toddlers that don't sleep, then don't do this. But find that time for you, because you know what? You're gonna give yourself to everybody else the rest of your day, right? So what are you gonna do with that time? Do you wanna pray? Do you want to do daily devotion? Do you want to enjoy that cup of coffee, right? Meditate. If you're like me, you're intentional. You might have those gym clothes and sneakers ready by your bed, so you're going to hit the ground running. So my point is this. It doesn't matter how much earlier you get up, the 5 minutes will work, or what you do. The purpose is, if you take care of yourself first, you're going to walk through your day and be like, woo! I am on fire. I am laser focused. So the days that I do this, I am like, oh, my kids are amazing, even if they're naked on the bathroom floor. I am so excited. I'm like, oh gosh, somebody else is going to hear this, right? But I am like so much more productive with my day, and I am bringing my joy all day long. If I happen to not do this, it's like, oh my gosh, I am like coffee spilling, right? Kids are a mess, and I am like fighting defense all day long. So I don't want to play defense in my life every day. I want to be on offense. So get up early, and you're going to be on offense for your day. Okay, and then the last one is habits. And habits just happen all the time. Like I got here driving, talking to myself, and I made it, right? And so we have good habits and we have bad habits. The research about the habits is that there's that trigger, it's gonna cause you to do the habit, and then there's a reward. So we can have bad habits too. Like I have a 5 and an 8-year-old who fight, right? There's my trigger. My habit is, ooh, that wine looks really good. And then my reward is, I can handle this, right? So I want to set some positive habits for my work life. So one thing is, we know time is really stressful, as she's like giving me 2 minutes, right? So time is really stressful. Like, yes, we have responsibilities as educators. We do. Yes, and what are you going to do with the time that you do have for yourself? Are you intentionally going to protect that time? One habit that really works well is, like, let's just say Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays are the days you don't have set meetings somewhere else. So every Monday is going to be like, hey, this is the day I always communicate to my parents and do my emails and do papers. Maybe Wednesday is always my ELA day that I plan. Maybe Fridays is the day that I do my math and science. So that way on the next week, I'm not running that hamster wheel, and I feel more grounded. So that's one little trick you can do for habits at work. Also, this seems really crazy. Who's going? I know her, so I can do this, right? So this is a trigger all the time. It goes off all the time. And it's like, oh my gosh, notification. Oh my goodness, phone call, right? So that's that trigger. But instead of it maybe making like a bad habit of it, you can change it and make it into something positive and good. So don't think I'm crazy. But I have an alarm on my phone set for 8, 10, 12, and 2. And what it says, instead of alarm, is when it rings, it says what I want it to say. So you know what? I'm going to bring the joy to my staff. So at 8, 10, 12, and 2, my phone will go off and it says bring the joy. So if I am not bringing the joy to my staff, it's going to snap me out of it because I am there to help them, and that is my job. So if you set that intent, if you want to feel grounded, if you want to do more, I want to be calm, I want to have a positive mindset, right? I want to bring the joy, set that alarm, it's going to snap you out of it, and you're going to self-check yourself and go, I'm not doing that, and I want to change, okay? Last one is your doorway frame. Crystal's like, you're crazy. But when I walk through the doorway, if I want to be calm with my kids or positive mindset with my kids, it's a trigger. Every time I walk through that door, positive mindset, just creating that habit. Okay, and then you're just going to do it. It's going to be amazing. So I know that we can't be perfect or doing these things all the time. But what I want you to take away from this is if you just try to put these in a little bit into your life, it's going to help you to stay grounded, and it's going to pick you up, and maybe we won't fall as much and won't feel like we're constantly on that hamster wheel all the time, and we'll feel more grounded. So I know that your time is precious. Whew, that was fast. I so appreciate you guys, ladies, hanging out with me. Thank you. That's my girl. Thank you so much. And maybe I'll see you in another session. And I have handouts too. It will be in the Google Classroom. I did about 10. So these are actually the books that I have dove into and read, the podcast I listen to. I do every single morning as I get ready. So if you want to take one of these before you leave, you can. I'll leave them right here. Yeah, it's great. Read them. So, thank you. Is somebody in here?